Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. I did because I went to a town 2 hours away from where I'm staying right now and did an amazing coffee tour here in Colombia, so that was good fun. And now we're back at the charts again. A little bit later than expected because actually today I wanted to fire off a live stream where we go over all the markets. But I'm having some technical difficulties. I tried all kinds of stuff with the camera, with my camera in the laptop, with my microphone, with the microphone in the camera, with the microphone in my laptop, on my headset. I don't know what, all kinds of software that started running, but somehow it is constantly lagging. The sound is not coming through. Not everything is being recorded. So I already spent like 3 or 4 hours to get this straight. So if you have any tips or tricks, feel free to drop them in the comments and maybe we'll try it again later. So today's video will be a little bit longer because we are going over most of the markets. So not only BTC and USD, we're also looking at gold, silver and some of the indexes. Yeah, stick around. Feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also in the description you find a handful of links. Some of them are affiliate links. Feel free to check that out. If you use them, then I can buy myself an ice cream again. And if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, also those links are in the description. Alright, now without further ado, let's dive into the charts. And then we are going to look at BTC USD first, and then we are going to dive further in. In the video of Friday we talked about if BTC will close the week in a red or not. Well, look at that. 5 weeks in a row we have a red week, so that is pretty unfortunate, but it was a little bit too expected. And this week needs to be seen right now kind of flat on the DBSI. It looks like a little bit the bears are losing strength so far. Of course, we still have a long time to go, but it looks like they're losing strength a little bit. We're going from -5 to -1, 8, 22, 23, 24. Right now printing an 18. On the bull side, a 0, -5, -5, -5, -4. Nothing said yet. Of course, we still have more than 6 days to go, but it would be nice also because I think a lot of people are just done with all the selling pressure. If we zoom on the daily, then it looks a little bit different. We talked about this maybe being a potential W pattern and then making something like a bullish divergence where we can after that go higher. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because this right shoulder is a little bit deeper than the left one, so bullish divergence is out of the window. Then if we take the volume note and we pull that over the entire period that we see here in the screen, counted from beginning of January, then we're seeing that the high volume notes, so the thick red line, also moved a little bit, came a little bit lower and is right now hanging here at exactly 39k. And then actually also see in the past that it has been support and resistance so many times. It's actually crazy how that sometimes plays out, and right now also it is functioning as a resistance. So yeah, this high volume node is no joke, yeah, when it comes down to the price, we're seeing a fair value. That's the highlighted area here on my screen. So if we are looking at, or zooming in a little bit, oh by the way, I think I also mentioned this last week already, but this stays the same. Look at the money flow, and the VWAP is just very flat. It's very hard to tell, and yeah, also you can see here the price is just kind of going sideways, a little bit going lower, this whole price action right here has been approximately 10% in 21 days. So not a lot. Yes, it was tradable, but it was absolutely not a lot. What I find more interesting is to zoom into the 4 hourly, and there I have been looking at let me see if I can find it. I cannot really remember where I draw it. I think it was kind of like this, where we had a parallel channel with some touch points, but no, I think at a certain point I kind of gave up. Yeah, well, this maybe, and then here this is a little bit lower. Yes, you could say, you know what, we're in a parallel channel, and we definitely have some touch points, But actually what I like more, and maybe you've seen it already at someone else's channel, is that we are creating here a bullish divergence. That would be absolutely lovely if that happens. Let me see, where shall we take this? Maybe here? Actually, I think something like this would be great. Yeah, this was it. Perfect. Okay, so then you're seeing actually on the big 4 hourly time frame that this falling wedge here plays out so far pretty well. We have a lot of touch points on the bottom for the testing of the support, and we have numerous touch points here on the top to test the resistance. And right now it looks like we are going to roll over again. Usually these patterns play out on the upside, so it's a falling wedge is a bullish event. 2 out of 3 times they go to the upside. Let's say that will be the case, and we're going to be a little bit conservative here with our measuring target. Then that will be approximately 42k if we break out to the upside, and it will be approximately 34k, 34k, so 34,000. If we break to the downside, the move will be approximately 9 to 10%, so still quite a lot. Be careful. I hope actually to the upside, because I'm also a little bit done with the sideways and the downwards price action. Now, full transparency, I have said some time ago that if we would break here the 2 support lines, I will put in a short. I haven't done that yet, and the reason therefore was, if we zoom back into the 4 hourly, is that I'm just missing the volume. I'm missing the price action. This was just so weird. We broke out, then we kind of went back, then we went underneath again, and then we were between those 2 lines, and now we're just grinding kind of lower. And when we are really going lower, then I want to see a much more ferocious price action. So for instance, that the price does something like this, boom, drop down, sideways, boom, drop down, and then just going lower, lower, lower. Or that the price does something like this, and then suddenly we are rolling over, and then suddenly, bam, we're dumping 10, 20, 30% a day. That would actually be, if we see something like this, that will be for me great to put in a long-term short. So far we have not really seen that kind of price action. That's why I didn't put in the short. So full transparency here. Also another sign on here on the wall is that, let's say we take this top to this top, this was only 2%, and let's take from this top to this top, that was approximately 3%. Let's do this one too, that was approximately 1.5%, and the next one is approximately 1.5 to 2%, and this one is also 1.5 to 2%. So if you're really dumping down and you're aiming for, let's say, the low 30Ks, then you want to see, like I said, a much more ferocious price action where this just dumps out much harder and harder and harder. So yeah, so far so good, kind of ish. That we have not really been dumping down. Those low 30Ks are still absolutely in the charts. If you're looking at the money flow, yeah, we have to see how this turns out, but we have a red dot here again. RSI is just going sideways, so this was very, very tough to trade. There were 2 trading ranges within our falling wedge that you could have traded. This one is one that we talked about in the video from also, I think, last Friday, where we said we had perfect testing of tops and bottoms here until we moved sideways. So this was one that was very nice, and this was another one. Let me see where I had this. I think like this, and then you're seeing that something's crazy how we are testing those tops and those bottoms and retesting it, and it's absolutely magic. So now and then, but here you also see the testing of those tops and bottoms. And then we're just going lower and now kind of retesting it again. So yeah, worked out all very, very well. Congratulations if you took those trades. I have not been trading all day because this has just been way too sideways and jiggy-jaggy. And also I was so busy with the live stream that I just didn't manage to put in any trades. And yeah, looking back at it, I still have not manage everything with the live stream. So alright, so this is for so far BTC. I'm looking at the falling wedge. Hope it breaks out to the upside, and again, if we do, then approximately 42k is then our price target. Depends a little bit on here where we are breaking out, and of course we want to see the volume coming back in. Let's look at ETH. There we kind of see the same. We got a crypto. Let's you know what, let's also start off here with the weekly. Let me zoom in. It's a little bit lagging right now. So there we had 4 red weeks in a row, and now actually it looks like on the DB side that bears are gaining strength a little bit. We're going from 23 to 24. Still a lot of time to go. Here we see yeah, that the momentum wave is still curving down, money flow going down a little bit. So yeah, not money flow yet in the red, but actually you want to see a bit more now for bounce up. Good sign is that the RSIs, yes, are pointing down, but they are spread from each other, so the bears are losing strength a little bit. That looks good. On the daily, also here, no bullish divergence, but the money flow just turned into the red, and we have a green dot, which usually is a good sign, and we have the RSIs split, so that is then very like very mixed signs. Like the RSIs are setting, maybe we're going higher. The money flow says we're going lower since we're in the red. The green dot says this is a buy signal, and then yet we still see the price kind of grinding lower sideways. So this is just very, very hard. And then also see on the DB side that yes, we are going a little bit higher, and the numbers saying we are seeing higher price action, but like I said, it's just very, very difficult right now. On the 4 hourly, matter of fact, let me take this one off because this one is not important anymore. I always like to do these things in the video itself, then you guys know exactly where I'm looking at. Also here we have a beautiful, beautiful falling wedge. Matter of fact, I find this one actually a little bit better than the one from BTC because just the shape is just a little bit better. Also touch points, so far it looks great. So yeah. Same kind of story, of course. We are going to take the measured move. Going up from here would be top of the wedge usually, so that is 31.50 if we're going higher. Breaking lower would be 23.60, 23.50. Let's hope that will not happen, but if so, I will probably be a buyer at that level. I think so, 100%. Then we're looking at the market Cipher B, seeing here that the red eye of the money flow, I hope it curves up a little bit, but I'm afraid that this will be like one of those on the sideways, and that will take long. RSIs coming together a little bit, like with the last 2, 3, 4 hour candles, they are spreading, but we are pointing up a little bit. View up is going higher, momentum wave is going higher, so that looks good. I actually really hope that we're going to break out, not too prematurely, because if it breaks out too prematurely, then we're going back up, and then I'm afraid we are getting a huge wick down on the downside, so that will be horrible. If you like these kinds of things, in the meantime, I am updating you on Twitter and all kinds of patterns that I'm seeing. I said in in Friday's video, the bull div and falling wedge indeed have barely in the power, and I said in a video earlier today that was one on a smaller time frame, so not the falling wedge that we're looking at right now. Smaller time frame, I think it was 15 minutes if I remember correctly. You see here the yellow lines, which was the bull div, and then of course the falling wedge. We're going out. I think we had 1.1% in at that time a move up, and I think I also said I expect somewhere between 1 and 1.5% because it was Friday night and everyone was home. Then on the crypto bubbles on the monthly, well, no surprise here. It is super red. Also just completely being sold off with everything else. Everything is going down the drain. Stocks, crypto, gold, it's absolutely insane. Matter of fact, we are going now to look at some of the stocks. Let's start off with the S&P 500 on the 4 hourly. We had a bit of a crazy day today because we started off in the red, and now I think the day ended in the green. Let me see. Yeah, also look at that. 0.5% up for the S&P 500, Nasdaq 1.6%, and this one was also deep in the red during the day, but in the last hour everything just bounced back up. But on the on the broader picture, what I'm looking at is that we that we went lower and we broke this kind of resistance line. Maybe we get a bit of a retest right now, and then we are going lower again. Let's see how that turns out. An important event what I'm looking at this week is the Fed. The Fed will come together and will come up with more news if they will start tightening or not. That will be major important. We actually made a lower low here on the 4 hourly, so also on the hourly. We dipped below the last low, and now we're kind of back here in this range. Let me see where I have that. So yeah, this is kind of this weird trading range where you see that we're dipping lower, going higher. So it's interesting to see in the next couple of days if this bounces back up and now we're going higher from here, or if we are retesting and then just going lower. I think there is still a lot of downwards momentum to go. If the Fed starts to rise interest rates, then you see money flowing out of the markets and it goes to other markets, and then you usually see stocks going down. If the interest rate is going lower or they keep it the way it is, then I think we're going to see a strong bounce in there. Let's check on the Nasdaq. There actually we see the same kind of story, but the tech stocks have been going down a little bit more, and also on some days they're going up a little bit more. Just a little bit more volatile, but actually we can make or draw the same kind of story here, is that this line right here, that is our support and resistance line already since what is it, beginning of the year. Look at that, end of 2021, and we have been testing it multiple times, and now we are trading lower again. And also here, of course, you see that we made a lower low. Also here, big question is, are we going to retest going lower, or are we going higher, breaking through that support line again? Market Cipher says us we're going lower, because look at the RSIs pinching down together, money flow in the red. VWAP, yeah, it's kind of undecisive, but it looks like it wants to go lower. And also here on the momentum wave, we have another red dot again. And it just looks very, very bearish. I don't see any bottoming signs yet. If you want to see a bottoming sign and you want to see something like this, where we're making kind of a W pattern and then going higher, but so far we have not seen this here yet, and you could not say, well, then this is your W pattern. No, because this one is a lower low than the previous one, so that is a little bit ugly. So what you want to see is that the second shoulder is then a little bit higher. That usually would be nice. I am keeping a close eye to the Fed. I think whatever the Fed is saying will have its effect on the stock markets, therefore would have its effect on crypto. If we are looking at something else, that is gold, my God, that has been an absolute carnage. To be honest, I don't have an exact reason why this happens. It could be the dollar index. We're going to look at that after this one. But yeah, today is just so bloody. I mean, look at this thick red candle, absolutely ugly. If we're zooming out on the broader picture, then we see that gold moves very slowly. Now, full disclosure, I own gold stocks. I have an ETF on gold and on the miners, also on silver and some other commodities. For me, that's the inflation hedge next to crypto. Yes, I do believe in crypto, and that's my biggest holding, but never put all your baskets, all your eggs in one basket. Always diversify, and therefore I also hold some gold stocks. I have seen this week and last week also a little bit that my gold stocks have been going down the drain. I think I lost like 30% or something on my gold stocks. They're super volatile compared to the price of gold. And I've seen, I think I've seen a hit of approximately 30%, and that was of course then completely this down here. If gold pumps up 1%, then you see these stocks usually pumping out 3% to 5%, and when gold goes down, then exactly the same happens. From top, to where we are right now, approximately 10%. So that makes sense if I have a leverage of 3x approximately by holding these miners, then yeah, that makes exactly sense, about 30%. And like I said, move slowly is that if we're zooming out, then we're seeing that we had this very nice bull run approximately here since 2018. I hold these stocks already since 2016, so happy days. And then we had this big run up. You saw this dump down. That is the Corona dump, and then we're going higher again, and then we're just peaking out here at 2070-ish, and then we had this very long sideways consolidation that took more than a year in this triangle, and eventually we broke out. A bit of a retest going higher. Now what is ugly about this is that we have another top at exactly 2070, so we actually for the next run up I really want to see it break. I am a little bit disappointed in gold, I gotta be honest here. I expected more, I expected maybe a little bit faster. I don't mind holding a stock or a position for a year, 2, 3 years, but I'm holding it now for what is it, 5, 6, 7 years or something. And yes, I made a great return on those stocks so far, but like I said, with the current market conditions, I just expected so much more. We have inflation at what is it, 8, 9, 10% depending on where you live. Tremendous of money printing. We have never seen this before. The debt in most of the Western countries has never been on such a high level as it is right now. And gold is the safe haven, gold is the inflation hedge, and I'm just thinking if we are in such a times right now, and the Fed and other central banks are trying to do whatever they can to fight inflation, and if they will succeed, there's a whole different story, but to see if they can fight the inflation, and yeah, like I said, the current market situation where everything is so insecure, then I would have expected a much higher gold price. Matter of fact, I actually would have expected us now already to trade around 2200 to 2500, and yeah, to see now that we're back at 1816, that is just it's just sad. Yeah, I don't know how long I will keep these positions open. If the Fed starts printing again, then it's green light, and then gold definitely goes higher. But just see that gold is completely being sold off. I actually quickly wanted to see where the high volume node is. That is right here at our line. Would be quite nice if we see. Look at this, 3 weeks already in a row. Hoppa. Would be nice maybe to see if we bounce off here. I really hope so, because if we also break through here, then we are breaking through a super important support, and then I fear the worst. Let's also pull a fib. Let's see if we maybe hit a golden pocket somewhere. Yeah, this is a little bit hard because you have a bottom here. You could say, well, the bottom is here, the bottom is here. If we take this one, then we kind of reach the golden pocket. If we take this one, then we said we just bounce off the 61.8, really depending on where you put the bottom of your fib. Let's say we take this one, and let's say hope that we're now bouncing off. That would be nice. On the market Cipher B, it looks a little bit ugly actually, because look at the money flow. It's just, it looks like it wants to go lower. Also on the momentum wave, we are definitely not done yet. The VWAP is pinching back down. That is negative. The only thing going forward is that here the RSIs are spreading a little bit. So let's hope that the sellers are getting a little bit exhausted. But the retracement is a little bit harder and a little bit more than I hoped for and expected for. I actually thought that we were not going to hold this 2000 once we were breaking through. This was just going way too fast. And then everyone was talking about this major cup and handle pattern that we were making, and then everyone said we're going oh so much higher, and oh my god, it's going to be amazing. Now what I'm talking about is this major cup and handle pattern right here. So this is then your cup, and this is then your handle. So this is exactly actually as it should be. And then people said, oh my god, it's going to be amazing, but people forgot that creating the cup took a decade, 10 years. So then to break out and to go to that high price target of what is it, 3,000 I believe, or 4,000 for gold, that will also then of course take years. But like I said again, with current market conditions, I just expected way more from gold than it does perform so far. Let's look at silver. That is actually the same kind of story. Also, silver has been selling off quite a lot, going down heavily. I do not track this chart as much, therefore you also don't see a lot. And you see that also silver create a little bit of a different view, because here we don't have that strong cup, because we're just hanging here around that what is that, $30 an ounce. So we have not tested those highs anymore of approximately $50 an ounce here in 2011. I do have to say that silver is like gold, and once gold starts running, then you see that silver's playing catch up and suddenly going much higher, and then could really bounce up. Let's say gold goes 1%, that silver goes 2% to 2.5% a day. And if you then of course own silver stocks, and yes, I also own those, and you have then 2.5% a day, then suddenly your silver stocks are pumping 8, 9, 10% a day. So if the price goes up, it's happy days, but if we're having sideways action or we're going lower, then you also need to take those very heavy hits that I've been taking lately. But this for me is a portfolio again for long term. I already saw inflation coming since 2016, since they started off a lot of money printing, and I thought this is not going to stop. I am going to hedge myself already, and that's before I bought gold, silver, and gold, silver miners. So yeah. What else do I have for you? Yeah, markets, broader markets going up. Always nice to see these headlines. Like I said, the Fed is talking this week. It's going to be interesting. An interesting thing that you might want to take a look at is the housing prices, because if the Fed starts rising interest rates, and let's say Europe is going to do the same, then the price of money, so the interest that you're paying on the loan that you're getting, will become more expensive. Therefore you're getting less of a loan on your current salary, and therefore the housing prices will go lower, because you cannot afford a huge mortgage anymore. If you cannot afford a huge mortgage with you, thousands of other people, therefore the bank says we cannot lend so much money anymore, and therefore your broker will say we cannot sell this house anymore for X amount of money, because there are just no buyers anymore, because they can't get such a high mortgage. So we're going to lower the price, and then you see the price rolling over, going down. I am actually a little bit hoping that that will happen for the next couple of years, because we have been absolutely pumping up like crazy. It's been ridiculous. One other thing actually I wanted to show you is a crypto altcoin that I've been seeing a lot. That is GMT. That was brought by my attention by some other traders, and there has been a crazy price action here. You can also trade that on Bybit, so definitely check out the link in the description so you can create an account on Bybit. 27% up, and then we went from the top to the bottom, 17% down, and here again 20% up, and then now we are really going lower, approximately 23%. I think there was a lot to do around this coin in ICO, so yeah, be careful. Like this, as you can see, is a very clear base that we are creating here. So if we are going lower or we break it, then next stop will be these kinds of levels right here. Also see now that we have a top here, so that will still be quite a drop, and if not, then yeah, we actually need to wait then for the next pattern to evolve before we can determine what the price target could be. But just I would say let this play out for now. But if you took some of these trades on this coin, then happy days. Let me see, what else do I have for you? No, I think that was it. Alright guys, like I said, a little bit of a longer video, but I hope you like this bit of broader market overviews. If there's stuff that you want me to look at, actually we forgot something, the dollar DXY. We're going back to the chart because I really want to show you this. We forgot the dollar, and actually, matter of fact, this is so important that I want to show you. That's why we're going back to the charts. Yeah, well, this is actually, this chart says it all. Tremendous run up, and that's why maybe gold and crypto is also lagging a lot of times. The DXY, so the dollar index, has been used as a contra parameter for Bitcoin and gold, meaning that if this index goes up, then we're seeing Bitcoin going down and gold going down. Not completely true, because we're seeing here since halfway of June that the index is already rising, and now we are really going parabolic. But we also had that major run for gold, so let's look at it again. Halfway June of 2021 until now. Let's quickly look at gold again. Yeah, so then halfway June was somewhere here. Let me draw this. So that was here, and we still had this this run up before we had this cool down period. So yeah, I do not agree completely with the theory, but there is of course a case to be made, and especially this last part where the DXY was really running up parabolic. I think this has to come down at some point. This will not go on forever, but tops are always higher than you think and bottoms are lower than you expect. So let me see, what do we have here on the charts. Goes a little bit slow today because we're doing everything live. Yeah, well, look at this. Higher than this top right here. But yeah, just as high as this top right here. So who knows, if we're topping out there, would be nice. Then we're going low, and that Bitcoin starts a bit of a run up because we need it. Heard an interesting theory from Mr. Wonderful, I forgot what his name was again, that said that Bitcoin is at a fair price, fair value as far as retail could take it, and now we really need like the major institutions to get in for us to pump the price to 100k, 200k, whatever. Definitely in the case to be made. I mean, if we're talking about major adoption in ETFs, could then play a role to get it more adopted, because these old white gray mills with hundreds of millions, they're not going to make an account on Binance and then buy a handful of Bitcoin. They just want to do this through their traditional broker or the bank that they know. And if you then have an ETF, and it's important, it's a spot ETF, so the ETF really needs to buy the physical Bitcoin, then of course it could be a major impulse. So yes, there is a great argument to be made, like, hey, we are right now at a fair price. If institutions get in, that will launch us to 200k. On the other hand, I'm also thinking, if we have more adoption all over the world, so we have thousands of extra people, millions of extra people all over the world adopting Bitcoin, and everyone starts buying, even if it's just for $100 or $1,000, that could also really shoot the price up. But yeah, like I said, we need major adoption. So nice that Michael Xavier is buying Bitcoin for large amounts of money, but that is just one person, and that's a little bit unstable. So what you actually want to have is that millions of people, hundreds of millions of people all around the world are getting more into this technology and are buying Bitcoin, and that will then push the price up. But again, like I said, it could also be a ETF that's being approved with spot trading, but it could also be a digital currency or centralized coin like in the USDC that's more like a legal tender, or something that's just massive that could really move the market. Then I'm thinking we're going to see much higher prices. Alright guys, again, now we're really closing out the video. A little bit of a longer video today. Hope you like it. If so, then show your appreciation. Please hit the like button, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Also in the description you find a handful of links. Feel free to check them out. And I'll see you guys very soon again in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.